Welcome to Click Better Photos with your smartphone instantly, and I have 23 of them. So let's get right into it. First off, use grid lines to balance your shot. Yes, now this is what photographers would call the law of thirds. I mean, like dividing the photo into 9 equal parts and then choosing your photo based on those lines. For iPhone, go to Settings, Photos and Camera and switch Grid on. And for Android, launch the camera app, go to Settings, scroll down and turn the grid lines or frame lines on. Second thing, set your camera's focus. Yes, according to a survey, 80% of people do not tap to focus. Now, tap to focus can not only increase the sharpness of your photo, but it can also apply some special effects like portrait to your photo, which can make it look lot better than what it used to do without tap to focus. So you should tap to focus when taking a photo. Now for the third, focus on only one subject. Too many subjects in your photo can make it look cluttery, and it can also take away the aesthetic nature of your photo. So professional photographers often say that your subject should only fill 2/3 of your entire photo. The rest of it should remain clear. So that means according to the law of thirds, 6 grids should actually remain clear and only 3 of them should have your subject. So in that way you can make your photo look a lot more professional as well as aesthetic, and in that way you can also improve the nature, the perceptiveness of that people will have of your photo. Now pro tip, after you've taken a photo you can apply some cool effects, you can crop it and you can just increase the sharpness and make the subject more vivid all from your phone. Now this actually makes the subject stand out even more than just focusing on only one subject. If you are enjoying this video, by the way, a sub to the channel would be amazing. Now fourth, we have embrace your negative space. Negative space is actually that empty space around your subject, which is more popularly known as that background of the photo. Photographers say that 2/3 of your entire photo should actually be negative space or your background. It can actually be a wall, or it can actually be vast stretches of sky, or it can actually be a big ocean or a lake or a pond. Whatever it may be, you'll have to fill up 2/3 of your entire photo with that negative space or background. Fifth up, we have find different perspectives. Now, do you know what actually stands out when you are a creator? It is doing something different. Same applies to photography. If you can do something out of the box, that will stand out more. So if you can actually find weird perspectives to take your photo, not only will your photo stand out more, but it will also create a depth, an illusion of depth and height, which can actually make your photo more interesting, and therefore it can stand out more. Sixth up, we have play with reflections. The human mind actually likes unusual things. It does not actually stand up for the ordinary thing. So next, when you just see a roadside puddle or you see a great reflection from anything, maybe at a mirror or a water body, go for taking a photo. Believe me, it is actually great. Now have a look at this photo, not taken by me though. Seventh up, use leading lines. Leading lines are actually that part of the photo that draws the viewer's attention to a specific frame of it. So imagine it to be a staircase or even a path to the woods. It doesn't matter if you just came across it by accident, just take a photo right in there. It will actually look more purposefully designed than any other normal photo, although just happen to come across it by. Eighth up, use symmetrical patterns. Yes, the human mind loves when it actually sees symmetrical patterns. So a little bit of adjustment using the law of thirds from tip number 1 can actually give you a wonderful photo in symmetrical patterns. Ninth up, we have using repetitive patterns. Yes, repetitive patterns is actually made much more aesthetically pleasing and beautiful shots. So whenever you actually see a repetitive pattern, maybe it is a repetitiveness of color or an inanimate object, or even in such abstract objects, go for clicking a photo by just adjusting the brightness and some other effects so that it can actually lead to a very beautiful photo. But you know what? This is not something which you can use for shooting cat videos. 10th, we have play with color blocking. Color blocking is actually that theory of making your subject look more vivid while making the rest of the background in grayscale. So it can actually make your subject stand out even more than any other tip that I have mentioned before. So what you actually need to do is that simply click a photo, and in your phone you can use this amazing app called Color Touch to apply this effect. Not sponsored. Simply click a photo and transfer it to the app, then just specify the area you want the color and you're good. 11th, avoid zooming in to your subject. This is actually a mistake which a huge number of people commit. They actually zoom into the subject when they are further away from it. But not only does this reduce the resolution of your photo, but it also makes it look blurry, pixelated and grainy. Instead, what you should do is move closer to the subject, or maybe use a different lens that your phone has, like the macro lens or the bokeh lens. It can actually make your subject stand out more. Zooming in just reduces the quality. 12th up, we have capture small details. You have actually heard the phrase, it's the little things. This applies to photography too. So whenever you see so close-up images that capture small, intricate and delicate details of anything can actually create a much more compelling visual content. Next up, use natural light. You know what is actually the best lighting solution in the world? It is natural light. No artificial light can actually be better than it. Artificial lights cast shadows on your subject, and it can make it look harsh and make your subject look very sharp. So it is actually better to go outdoors and take a photo. Take advantage of the natural sources of light that you can find even after dark. This can actually create a more ambient photo that is not deceived by the different artificial sources of light that you actually use indoors. 14th up, use flash only during the day. Flashlights actually make your photo look more brighter, but it actually rarely does that during night. During night, in the absence of any other light source, your flash can make your photo look very invasive and uneven. So in some cases your flash can make your photo look even better, but do it during the day when you have a very good well lit atmosphere, and the flash could actually just increase upon the well lit environment and make the shadows look a little more softer. 15th up, consider buying a mobile tripod. Mobiles are actually very portable devices, but there is no way to ensure that your shot stays level and balanced. So when you are planning to take a pre-planned and good looking shot, consider buying a mobile tripod. Most tripods are barely bigger than the size of your phone, and they can actually bend to any angle, and can linger in any surface, maybe even a tree for some cases, and it can actually ensure that your shot stays level, well focused, and you can actually take a wonderful crisp picture of your subject. 16th up, you set your camera's focus exposure manually. Yes, whenever you actually tap to focus, the exposure is set automatically, but sometimes it may not be perfect. Sometimes you may want more exposure, sometimes you may want less. So whenever you actually tap to focus, a little sun appears just beside it. Tap on it and decrease the exposure of your lens, and it can actually give you a more better and desired photo. 17th up, create abstracts. Yes, humans love when it comes to mystery. Abstract is a form of mystery, but in photography. So when you actually take a photo, crop it into the most abstract and inanimate thing, more inanimate subject you can say, in that entire landscape, and it actually does not reveal the entire landscape, and with that very unusual subject that actually lives after the cropping, viewers will stay wondering, of course in admiration, of what that subject could actually be. 18th up, take candid photos. Post photos actually great when it comes to memories or for that moment when you actually run into a celebrity. But sometimes candid photos of people doing things can be far more interesting. That's because candid shots express the emotion of a person while they do something to the most accurate level. The best way of doing this is taking as many photos as you can and then just choose the best one. 19th up, being unconventional while taking your photos. As I mentioned earlier, human minds actually don't like when it actually comes to just ordinary things. So think out of the box, and your viewers can just stay amazed by a very non-conventional and not so common subject. 20th, make everyone laugh. Yes, so it is actually the most laughing is the most important expression of anything that you can just grab out of a viewer. So humans actually tend to remember things more when they actually can make them giggle or make us giggle. Imagine an image of a dog toy placed on on a plate on a table, like an regular Instagram food shots. But what if it is from a dog's perspective? If you can make them laugh, then it's game over. You win. 21st, clean your phone's lens. This is something which many people do not do. Even in some recent phones, they can actually detect when there is dirt on your lens and can actually give you warnings to clean your phone's lens. But if you are choosing some older phones that might have a great camera, consider cleaning your phone's lens regularly. The dirt that actually accumulates on the lens can reduce the quality of your photo to a huge extent. So consider cleaning your phone's lens. I can actually guarantee those lens flares, those light streaks that actually come into your photo for no reason, you can avoid them by a good margin. 22nd, attach an external lens. Whenever you attach an external lens, it actually opens up a huge new perspective of taking a photo. Maybe it from fisheye lens to wide angle lens. It can actually make your photo look more interesting and more out of the box. Last tip, don't be afraid to edit. Editing improves the quality of a photo by a huge extent. Editing can actually take a very ordinary shot to something which actually looks totally out of the box. You can apply many different effects and many different ideas just from your phone, like cropping or rotating your photo or applying some cool effects like sepia, grayscale. They can actually make your image look day and night. So from next time onwards, don't forget to edit your photos. The most wonderful apps that I would suggest you to use on a smartphone is PicsArt and Remini. Just go and check them out. Links will be in the description. So guys, that's it for today. Now it's my turn to go and show the cat videos. So with that said, I'm Orko and I am signing out.